Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Hey YouTube, how you doing? Thank you for giving me the opportunity to post the video for it again. So hey, this is a great test. This is Peaches. Of course, like I told everybody on my journey to my website. I'm trying to learn how to have one spread when going to a website, right? So for the zodiac signs, this is something that I'm thinking about doing. So since I'm an October Scorpio, I said Libra season about to end soon. I'm going to go ahead and get the messages. At least I know I'm helping my own self out and I've put myself in a comfort zone, very comfortable zone. For all y'all Scorpios, happy birthday to y'all. May y'all enjoy y'all season as much as we can. And hopefully I give enough guidance to help us out to make sure we accomplish that goal through all the trials and tribulations life has to offer us. No matter we get, whether the challenges get hard, or whether they give us a vacation to reward us for jobs well done. Go Scorpio season. So here we go. What I have out here is the Scorpio signifier. Alright. So, everybody can know what's going on. I have Mars. Scorpio has a relationship with Mars. Scorpio has a relationship with Pluto. I have Pluto too. And Scorpio has a relationship with the 8th house. So I had an 8th house here. So what I'm going to do is begin a little bit with the general astrology part with Scorpio before getting into a little bit of cards. I'm going to start off with an intuitive process. So how I began that, I went online and I checked out today's current planetary positions, right? So at this current time to do these messages, I didn't decide to go when Scorpio season started because it's like a little bit extra, I feel like, because I'm not doing it for the whole 30 days, 30 days of the season, close to it anyway, 29, 30, 31, whatever, days of the season. So it was just like too much extra. So, but I do want to be able to tap in for my videos into when I'm doing them, where is the current planetary energy and what's up in that space for the Scorpio constellation connection. You know, it's a whole constellation for Scorpio. So I wanted to get up into a little bit of the constellation energy. So I went up there to see what the current planetary positions is. So for Scorpio, right here, for Scorpio, Scorpio has Venus inside of it at 26 degrees, 32 seconds, and it has Mercury, which is at 1 degree and 45 seconds. Now, also, with inside of this, the descendant line is also in Scorpio energy also. And the descendant line is at 2 degrees. Okay. So let's consider with Venus being there on a general aspect of using our Scorpio energy. You know, as many ways. This is just to set up a baseline for you yourself. Go through whatever you think Venus might be connecting with. Maybe it could be your Venus energy. Maybe you have Scorpio. Maybe you have a different thing. Maybe you have Libra there, and Venus, since it's the house, since Libra, Venus is the ruler over Libra, it might be a connection there. Never know. But this is just to get your gears going, okay, for the monthly reading for people who want to come and get guidance. So when we consider that we have Venus up in our energy at 26 degrees. Now, it's more at the end of our energy. So in situations on baseline, we can get emotional for things that's not ending, or maybe we can get impatient waiting on different responses. It could be incidents that happen, like say your refrigerator clunked out And in the process, the maintenance people and the repair people keeping you on hold, nobody coming out, nobody making arrangements the way that you want. So your patient levels might be getting affected by it, you know. This all could also be a time where maybe if you is a homemaker where you stay at home, you make videos all the time. You could come up to a point in time you're like, I need something different. I need some kind of change. I need a thrill. And maybe you're not approaching it that way. Maybe with Venus being at the tail end and Mercury being at the beginning and at the 1 degree, it could just be a whole bunch of fluster. Being that you're a water sign, yeah, the intuitive part of it could now be beginning to give you a little bit of a spark of creativity and give you a little bit more insight, since Scorpio going to be rolling in, since Venus going to be next going to Sagittarius. So it's going to give you some of that I see energy a little bit, right? And the ending of it, so you could be very visionary in your private time. It could be extreme changes that could be going around with Venus. Venus is always about upgrading things, making things look, help support the moon energy with making things look intriguing, enticing, and fun, you know. So, you know, you could be at your work and your job could be having a lot of changes going on, which could be the Venus influence of it. And it could be wrapping up. And maybe you feel some kind of way about all of this. Maybe you could be experiencing new co-workers. It could be a lot of this energy that's going on with Venus. Venus is basically in that energy. So then when we're talking about Mercury starting to creep up in here, depending on how this energetic flux is feeling for us, right? We could be very highly in tune, very intuitive at this 1 degree, right? We might have to be on the slippery slope of this, like before Mercury get real good in our energy, we just sliding right into it. We might feel free to conversate, feel a sense of freedom to express ourselves. And some of these could be hazardous warning signs. Could be some things that we might need to curb to benefit ourselves. It could be strangers coming in our life and giving us a message for about 5 seconds. We could eavesdrop in a conversation depending on how nosy our Scorpionic instincts are. Or if with our intuitive instinct going on, we could come to the point and just try to overanalyze the room or anything, do a surveillance scam. So with that Mercury influence going on at 1 degree and 45 seconds. Now, on the dark side of Scorpio, we have the descendant that's going to enrich our dark side at 2 degrees. So we might feel, with Mercury and Venus being there and the descendant there, we could feel a little exhausted. We could feel a little bit of tense of not appreciated for a little bit, off and on. We could go through these certain moments, you know. If, say, for instance, you know, like go through menopause, so once in a while I can see now why I get hit with glitches of like feeling like I'm losing something in my motherhood. But it's not really that I'm doing it. My body is just reshifting and it's recreating. It's a new intuitive process. And with Mercury being there, now I see at 1 degree 45 seconds, you know, it's like, hey, you know, 9 is like a crone energy, great for menopause, right? Hey, we got to make things work. And with the descendant being there, it brings in more of the destiny. It could really balance out more health factors in us right now at Scorpio. Meaning, where our lifeline really supposed to stop at, this would be a time where our health could really be shifting a little bit with this descendant energy and recognizing like, hey, you got a little bit longer to go. We need you to tighten up on this. We need you to watch this thing. We need you to do it this way. And it might be some tweaks. And some things might not be set in stone, but it's now for you to start practicing with it so you can start growing into the new different feelings sooner than being forced where a health problem could get more severe at, right? Now, yeah, so that's the basic energy that's surrounding Scorpio right now, right? So let's get some oracle cards on the baseline of Scorpio down and I gave that astrology aspect before we move over to Mars in the house. Alright. Hey universe. I'm posting this video on YouTube. This is Scorpio monthly reading. Scorpio monthly season reading for the Scorpio season. Alright. But I have one card to help give guidance and how to, if I won't clear enough, or give clarification, more deeper clarification to the fact of Venus impact, the descendant impact, and the Mercury impact, just on the general energy beginning our Scorpio season this week. One oracle card, please. One oracle card. How will this energy, general energy? Let's talk about it. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Just one, please. Alright, you act like you wanted to pop out. We have Goddess. So that's a great to go with the elemental signs. So for all Scorpios that's out there to say like in a universal aspect, how does the water element, what is your perception of the water element to you yourself, right? And with inside of that water element essence, where do it benefit you at? So when you think about the breakdown that I have with Mercury being a little bit sensitive, correcting the sensitivity with the descendant there, preparing destiny things. What about our health, right? So with this water energy that's there, allow the guidance to be there. Use that for your helper. The goddess is an archetype. So use the element itself and how it relates to you. From the definition that you perceive it to be in yourself, that would be your beginning of your stepping stone to see the pathway that's before you. So, with this energy right here, what is some corresponding energy to the general energy that the Scorpios might see here in encounter? What is some law of attraction energies during Scorpio season that we might encounter when it comes to this energy? One card, please. So we have mood here, okay? So basically it's like, from the Venus point of view at 26 degrees, right? With this Venus energy, we might encounter people who have a lot of tenacity and passion within voicing their selves. So the Mercury, and the flip side of it, with Mercury at 1 degree, and we like seeing here our own self, and this person tenacity might put us at a stage like, you just might want to look at this person. And it might be a lot that you want to say, but then you might just sit here and say, is it even worth me saying anything right now? This just happened for what reason? Because that's like, when we into the water element, like from the goddess standard point of view of it, right? A water sign is a feminine energy, right? So when we looking at it from the water element of it, tenacity is nothing but an emotional state anyway. So this person is all up in their water sign, and it might not even be the fact that they might be a sun water sign. It just might be the fact that they just came up in your energy, and their tenacity could be beneficial for you for when you might need to avoid a situation maybe 2 or 3 days down the line, or maybe it's a month down the line, or maybe it's 2 hours down the line. But just by you just sitting there looking at this person into their emotional state of it, and just not really reacting the way that you know you could, and just going on, it's just beneficial, especially the fact when we had the descendant that's there at 2 degrees in the Scorpionic energy. So, and Pluto is very much with us, and Pluto is going direct now, I believe, right? Let's see, is Pluto going direct? Yeah, Pluto going direct. So Pluto is at a stationary position right now, and when Scorpio season start up, Pluto gonna just be starting to move, but it's still kind of moving not that fast, but it's a little bit faster from its stationary because it stayed at 29 degrees 39 seconds for 2 weeks and a half. So it's going to be at 29 degrees 40 seconds. So that's 11 and a 4 right there. So that's a mastery number. So like, being that that's a mastery number that is even sitting in stationary at 29 degrees, 39 degrees is a 12. So we're talking about tarot, that's the hangman, right? So when we're using that emotional understanding our philosophy within, what you could take that out of the hangman to gaining your knowledge. Take your philosophical belief within inside of what you believe that water element passion is to you, and use those synchronicity events to not allow other people's emotional state manipulate your energetic vibration. Okay? And that person might not even be in your energy that long and have a tenacity. You could be at a mall. Say you at a mall, and all of a sudden things just got real excited. Before like going too far off the deep end, it might be one of those with that 29 degrees. It could be one of those moments, especially with Venus at 26 degrees, right? And it can be one of these moments where you have to control the environment, and your collect pose energy could just benefit off of it, especially with the descendant being there and Mercury at 1 degrees 45 seconds. So it would be some real quick thought pattern from your subconscious moving and controlling this situation. You know, it's one of those situations where some people say, I don't even know why I didn't even move. Just go with the flow of it, because that's also part of the water element. So make sure you stay connected with what you believe the philosophy is of the water element. All right, let's get over to Mars. Now, I noticed that Mars is in Cancer at 21 degrees, and that's a 45 seconds right there. So we got 2 9s right here. So we talking about we is in our transformative energy. The universe is manipulating this. And maybe as Mercury moves through our birthday season, we might feel it a little bit more, in different ways. So let's see how Mars going to have us feel it with Cancer, okay? And we already been talking about the water element. Let's see how Mars going to have us feel. All right? And Mars is also on the IC line at 19 degrees, right? And across on the IC, on the midhaven is Capricorn. And guess who's in Capricorn? Pluto. Okay? So what we already is sharing the descendant energy at 2 degrees now. We sharing the descendant energy at 2 degrees. Scorpios share 2 ruling masters. I guess maybe that could be a thesis of why Scorpios known for their sexual thing. Because they have 2 rulers. They have Pluto and they have Mars. And people tend to look at Pluto and Mars as a masculine energy, even though Scorpio is a feminine identified energy. So it works great right now in the mysterious part of it that Mars could bring in with Cancer, because Cancer could be very mysterious, right? And with it make it very interesting. Just like I was watching a video on YouTube of a crab that was molting, and then people eat soft crabs. It's almost like eating that molten crab until they get hard again. So the mystery that's within Cancer itself and the nature of the animal instinct is just so amazing, right? So we have 21 degrees of that. So we have a nice intense energy where we sharing a water element. So this means that, say in our social life, for people who have relationships, some of our relationships could be very interesting. Like mine is very interesting, the way that we going back and forth on an energetic battle. You think we was on the movie Dragon Ball Z. The series Dragon Ball Z. Like we just powwowing it right now, you know what I'm saying? And so, that's that Mars connection. That's what's up in there with that 21 degrees, and being that it has that IC intensity, like it's bringing things that's intense and important in our life right now to confront. And we might not always peer like me and my friend and I energetic battle. I don't really see that person being that important in my life, even though I understand why it might appear that that person is important in my life. And see, that's where that I see and that descendant energy could manipulate us within. And especially if we want to consider the fact also that Mars has a trine with Neptune. And Neptune is in Pisces, right? So we have a little bit more water energy that's going on with us also. And not only that, Venus has a trine with Mars. So that's a lot of also Scorpio and Cancer in this water energy, this transformative season. So crabs, this is the crab season to go through molting and mating and all that good stuff right there. So we get it very intensely with Mars, We can experience more high demands in relationships. We might want more. Or if you have a significant other, you have a twin flame that's out there, I could be going with a tug of war with all, being that the sun is in Libra, right? That Mars could have you at a tug of war on challenges on How do we equate this? How do we balance these situations out? Maybe somebody want to go to work more. Maybe y'all might be getting along. And then when this energy switch and the sun going to Scorpio, y'all might not get along. And you might not figure out why. Slippery slope moments, especially with Mercury being right there for us. So let me get a few cards right here to talk about how Mars, see how they give me a message on how Mars energy is going to affect us Scorpios, okay? May I have 3 cards to talk about Mars energy? That's a lot. I just wanted 3. My nose itching. Ooh. That's why all those cards came out. My nose was itching at the same time. You just came out, so you gave me that chance. Alright, what's this message? You got my nose itching. Alright. This is... I seen it. But... Alright, what came out first is the 5 of Pentacles and the Justice card. So... That's why I'm really getting this message that's going on. That's why I had a bit pause. This is the Queen of Cups that came out on the shadow card right here. So this 5 of Pentacles is talking about energy of things Mars is going to give us the type of energy to remove things from us, from our situation. It's going to be a sleeper sniper with inside of our attitude adjustment. Depending on our characteristics. Scorpios, we all grow up different ways. We all have similar traits within inside the Scorpio realm, meaning that a lot of Scorpios are observant. Let's say it that way. But this is like, you know, in relationships, the most assertive person in a relationship might be very overprotective right now when Scorpio season begins. Especially with this Libra that's here, right here. It could be, I mean, especially since Justice is right here. Representing Libra energy. I'm currently doing a video doing Libra season. It could mean, you know, in some people, you know, it's some karmatic cycles that's ending. At this point in time, is something that's probably overdue. And it's probably something that's going to feel, because I know I have this feeling. It's something that's going to feel like it's nothing to get excited over. You know, this energy is going to be here no matter what. It's going to come up and resurface different times. It's going to be part of archive records. You know, that's the kind of attitude I have. Something that's part of my archive record, even though it's an ending cycle, I don't get excited over it. So what they let me know is, hey, this Mars just the thing. Like, Mars got your back. You're not excited. Okay, stay not excited. It still doesn't mean that the justice ain't going to get served. It still doesn't mean that your pleasures and your wish with this Queen of Cups, Scorpio energy, is not to say that they're not going to be desired. They're not going to be accomplished. Mars is going to keep you within inside of the temperament of your truest desires, especially with justice being right there. It's like with Venus being already inside of our energy, Venus could manipulate our heart chakra. And the manipulation, whether it comes in a dream at night, to see how you survive a situation, see how you respond. You passionate in this dream that you're going through, and you just wake up and like, was that shit really fucking real? You know, and Venus can manipulate that, especially with the fact with Mars having a trine to Neptune, and Neptune is in retrograde with Pisces. So being that the descendant energy is also there, it's easy to use our sleep time to be moments of judgment at our purest heart state, to know how we're going to respond, because this is your subconscious and your conscious mind knowing the truth. That's where that justice is at, and the Queen of Cups is at also. When those nights that you go to sleep and your conscious and your subconscious mind is seen here balancing out and getting prepared those situations that's needed to be confronted, or how it get confronted. And like I said, with Mercury also being there, and we have that descendant energy that's right there at that present time, you have more of a destiny type pathway to write. You know, it's more creative for the universe to create these moments of longevity, things to resurface up in about 2 or 3 months from now. You know, so with this Mars energy and having Cancer there, maybe we shouldn't drift off so far. Maybe we need to find a way to know how far in the ocean we want to go. Don't go so far in the ocean because you're like, oh, I don't want to be with people. And then you get out there and then all of a sudden you had this creative thought, oh, bitch, you left your lunchbox all the way back to the land. So now you got to paddle all the way back to get back to the land because you left your lunchbox there. And then you're going to still might feel like with Neptune and Pisces, you might feel like, oh, either nobody's here, so let me go ahead and go home. You could feel like, oh, I knew I did the right thing. I knew people didn't care about me. And never look at the big picture. And the big picture is not the fact people don't care about you. Maybe everybody could be too busy themselves, that everybody need everybody. And they just looking for people who's going to cooperate and be more working like we all in a Red Cross together, instead of looking like we got to report to a CEO. Just consider those. Especially with the Justice card being here in the Five of Pentacles. So that's how Mars energy could definitely be affecting us with this planetary alignment. Alright? So the shadow card here, there you go, Five of Wands. You know, basically that person, the desire of what we have. Like this Five of Wands is way different. Ain't that so beautiful? Say they sitting there and dancing, have a ceremony. They doing those things for their self. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean about different things. It comes to your dream, especially with that descendant energy. And being that the fact, like I said, I'm about to get a Pluto, so I can go more deeper into the midhaven and how I see what Mars being right there at 21 degrees 45 seconds, and that I see is at a 19. Okay, so that's another encompass of an energy of how I say that those dreams will be there and stuff. Okay, and that's where this Five of Wands lies at. All right, so now let's get into Pluto. All right. So when it comes to Pluto, all right, I noticed that Pluto has a sextile with Venus, or rather Venus have a sextile with Pluto, and Mercury has a square with Pluto. So considering that Pluto is one of those rulers in identifying the transformation. See, Pluto has transformation, Scorpio has I transform, right? So being that it has that with inside of it, and Pluto is in Capricorn, which is another feminine energy as far as us when we look at elements as far as the earth energy goes. So we're talking about more goddess energy, but now we have to decide on how the water interacts with earth more. I feel like Pluto is going to be that thing of like also being a very interesting thought pattern with the connection with water and earth. For example, like how or why do so much sand still stay on the surface when the water goes up so high? Or why is it possible to that the sea level walks down from the land mass? The division and the connection is there. Like we can naturally walk into water and feel the earth. Even if it's raining, we could walk into water in the earth. Even if we just cooking, or even if we drinking water, because our flesh comes from the earth. So even in the consumption of it. And Pluto is, for us Scorpios, Pluto resonates. It brings out that deep thinking ideas of these connections, whether we into partying and growing and trying to find a kid, or whether we literally going to college right now and getting a degree in chemistry. Or we pursuing a degree in anthropology. Pluto is our helping energy when it comes to us Scorpios, right? So with Pluto at 29 degrees, 36 seconds, online is 36, in my book is 39. So that's still another 9 for Scorpios, right? So it has that 29. We already got 11. And so in the tarot, that we already know what that is. That's the Justice card. So we already know somewhere down within all this Libra connection going on. You know, Libra has the South Node. I think Lilith might be still there. The Sun is definitely there. And I didn't memorize everything for Libra. So it has a lot. So what it happened a lot for some of us when it comes to like the mood and the goddess, this is another mood change. So maybe for some of us, we might need to pay attention to this Pluto connection. Maybe our Pluto might have Libra. There might be separate messages that you take beyond, you know, how this message is resonating. I always tell, you know, any viewer, go into downloading your natal chart. It's free. Get into your meditation state. The more and more intelligence and the intensity of the Wi-Fi connection and the digital connection that's here, we all have our attunement. We all have our channel within the universe. Now, we all have our blockages too, and that's what Pluto is great for throwing for us, Scorpios. It's not going to let us know everybody's single pathway down to the T. No, it's not. It's going to give us time gaps and ways to fulfill people's questions so they could keep going. But when they decide to wear that red dress, we might give it to them as a clue, but we might be lacking in something else. Our expertise come from Pluto like that. And with Pluto being in Capricorn I use, we got to be careful on like some of this energy coming to us through other people, making us feel like they trying to dominate us. They trying to be domineering. Because Pluto, you know, Capricorn is known as a I use energy. It's a stubborn energy. So the people around us could be making us feel a little bit belittled, like I was saying in the beginning, you know, especially with Venus being there. And this is where Pluto is just putting this illusion. But Pluto is in Capricorn. And so our conscious mind resonates Scorpio so much with it that I use energy where I had that connection with that mid-haven at 19 degrees. It's just like the illusion of this Libra energy where it could be using the Chiron, and we out here healing people, we gifting people, we doing things. So now dominating our, you know, the dominant side of that energy might have us giving, and maybe we're not in the mood for giving as much as we want to receive, or maybe we could give and still looking for some receive. Whether that receive come from the normativity of writing it off on taxes or not. So we have to balance out the domineering energy that Pluto is a pound with Capricorn. And like I said, it has a sextile with Venus. So Venus is already in our Scorpio energy, right? So Venus could play this game. So what is your connection within the feminine world, within your social world? How do you see your social world? Not see the world. How do you see your social world? Let's go to the small pea pot, because this is a sextile. So these are bits and pieces of chopped up sections of our life, right? So we need the little small pieces right now. We don't need to say it's the small things that count. No, this is not a situation where the small things count. I'm just saying the small pieces is what is important in this sextile. It's choppy. And then that the fact that Mercury has a square where it's making it even more choppy. Okay, it could give us some very choppy energy. It can give us some bipolar situations. It can give us some unpleasant situations and all of this. Okay, so like I said, you could check out your Pluto section. And being that it has a midhaven here, for some of us, our clock could be very perceived different with this Mercury square that's going on. Especially, I don't know what Saturn has going on, but that's supposed to be like the father of time, right? So with this midhaven energy, we're talking about some time and things. And being that Scorpio is so connected with all the major midhaven ascendant, descendant, and the IC at this point in time, is going to be very interesting and only make Pluto energy stronger, because that means with its direct energy and the distance that Pluto is here, we just now feeling Pluto retrograde. We not even feeling Pluto direct. Scorpios is feeling the Pluto retrograde by the energetic flux. Around this time next year, we're going to be feeling Pluto direct. So that's what you got to consider with this sextile with Venus in our energy right now, okay? So let me get a couple cards here. May I have 3 cards for Pluto guidance for Scorpio during Scorpio season? And that sextile with Venus and Pluto could definitely work with our connections with the descendant, the indirect connections with the ascendant, the midhaven, the IC, and I did say ascendant, descendant, midhaven, and IC. You feel me? Alright. May I have a 3 card guidance? Woohoo! I am going through this. And they helping me though, right, Mars? This is so testy. May I have a 3 card message here for Scorpio's Pluto guidance? 3 card message here for Scorpio's Pluto guidance. What did Pluto offer Scorpios? Alright, I have 4 cards. I'll just take all 4. Alright, the first one that came out by itself is strength. And that's part of the dominatory energy. And like I said, being focused with the different ways this energy could be manipulated. Like from the sextile point of view, we could have a lot of these situations going on, having a dream and everything else at one time. Even within inside our relationship and somebody switching off and seeming a little bit more jealous or unique in the out of their form. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, granted, take these signs lightly. No, far from it. These signs, with this strength card coming up, as far as the baseline it is, these signs is either for you to understand there's a door open, understand the reason why you're there. There's always a reason. So I don't never say nobody is trying to get out, because I have been into my own abusive relationship, and I have learned a lot in life and how people perceive what's entrapment. And then when it comes to the universe on the social economical structure, it's people who's in those situations that do keep shelter homes needed. It keeps the government money being processed. So when we're talking about our dedication in our soul and whether we have a purpose on earth, and all of us have one, some of those things that we judge so people harshly on are their purposes. Because if it weren't for their life, it wouldn't even open up a job. It wouldn't even keep a seat at a college for somebody who want to be a counselor, for somebody that's growing up. And Pluto brings in those situations for and highlight those before us. But it's on you to perceive them the way they are. But Pluto is like this real strong energy within it. So then Pluto is like, I'm going to be like the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Fool card. Like, Pluto really did break itself down. Like, this is kind of sweet on the message tip. You see that? The Knight of Wands. Like, it gave itself the Knight. After the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Fool card. Right? So that's what I'm talking about. Is that creation. And you know, within that sextile energy, people are going to complain. Because that's how that dominatory energy, and that's how we program. We program because these things rise all the way up, even all the way to the political platform, or what a welfare rule is. Like, people are born in this world, and somebody could have a kid, and their kid be like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. And not realizing that some of these people that do wrong, or some of these weird accidents that's happening, is making an opportunity for that child to believe there's a life. That Fool card. It's giving that parent or that teacher or that counselor a reason to tell that kid, go out and be what you are. It's giving a reason why people even can make these videos. Or any movie get made. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles is facing in opposite directions, right? That's like the law of polarity. The things that make us laugh also make us cry. And that's one of those energies that we going to experience. But within us Scorpios, let's ask ourselves during this season right here while we're experiencing it. How can we keep things settled for Earth? Be strong. Be proud of the reactions and responses. Take accountability and responsibility. That Fool card. Take accountability and responsibility through Pluto. So check out what your Pluto is and see what the alchemy is. Because right now Pluto is with Capricorn. And we also have other planetary positions. So look at it from the alchemy. What does your Pluto have? If your Pluto honestly has a Scorpio, wise up in Capricorn, so we're talking about super feminine. Like I said, this could be times for Scorpios not to drift off too deep in the ocean. Don't drift off too far deep into something and you gonna want something and you don't even know what you're bringing back with yourself. Just be careful on how you drift off. I don't know how intuitive you are, but I'm just saying intuitive people, be careful how deep you go. All right. And the shadow card here, Eight of Swords. Look at that Eight of Swords. You know why I like this Eight of Swords? I hope you can see it. See, she walking through the swords. And you see that moon right there? That's what you call having faith. This Eight of Swords is very different. See how she touching the water? And that big moon is behind. This Eight of Swords design is very beautiful. She's walking through on blind faith. And that's what Pluto gonna bring to us on it. Like I was talking about people in certain situations and how it benefits with our social structure, our pure existence. Now the 8th house. Now our 8th house energy at this current time has the Futona up inside of there. So right now, Scorpio, the Futona might not be there when our season start, okay? Now, being that saying, it's also in Sagittarius energy, also with this cusp, because the way that the dial is going. So you're talking about the 8th house is going to have some Sagittarius energy going up inside of there for some of these people being born around this time. So what is your 8th house? If you know what that is a great point of view to figure out the alchemy, authenticity of how to go through your situation that you have personally going on. This is an energetic guidance reading. There's many things to assume. It's not a almost personal reading. Okay, this is just an energy reading for guidance. So with that Futona being right there before our birthday season come in, there's an opportunity where I guess you could say that Pluto and the energy with Venus and Mercury right now is a great opportunity with whatever we have kind of alchemy up in there for us to grab some offers, for us to review contracts that we have had from past lives. Meaning that this is a great time for us to look at some of our love life, some of our relationships that we have with kids and other people and cousins and co-workers and the ones on the TV that we follow and gotta have all on social media. It's time for us with this 8th house energy to take data note of our social emotional relationships that we have now. So it's going to be situations that's going to arouse through our 8th house. Now, depending on how good or what personal questions you're looking for, say if you're married and you're freshly married and you're trying to find out if this is the right person for you, you potentially can find those answers out in your 8th house. Go look at your 8th house and see what you have there with that energy. See what it comes up and talk to you about. Look at those reference points because it could be anything that's going on. All right? Especially with the Futona being there. This is very, it could really entice and support Pluto a whole lot in releasing all cash records. Okay. Alrighty. May I have a 3-card message for the 8th house? Energy for us Scorpios. And Sagittarius, like I say, is a very spiritual sign. It's a very spiritual energy. It's great to, right now, to exert or accept any heightened intuition or whatever you have. It's great for the manipulation, like I said at the beginning, you know, to very overassume and overthink situations. This Frutona, this Sagittarius energy that's in this 8th house with us is very mysterious. Is very much a get a thing done type of energy. Alright, I have a 3-card message here for the 8th house. This is sweet. So we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the Fool card. So these two came out together. So it says happiness, wealth, the Fool. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say in the beginning anyway. Like, this energy is very supportive. It's very beneficial for as finding out different information, stuff that you really want to know personally. That 8th house with Sagittarius being there with that with the Frutona energy to radiate into it is great answering time. It's a great inquisitive time. It is also beneficial, you know, to really gain a lot of money. With this energy too is a great preparation for Scorpio season, with it being in our house. You know, when the sun does go over there, it can be a very prosperous and wealthy season financially. It might have to be some things that be risks to take depending on how the Pluto Mars energy affect you, also Venus and Mercury throughout the transit situation. There's probably some risky business that's going to come up in here, especially with the way that looks. Okay, see that wealth, and those really look like rings, right? Diamonds all over the place right there. But see, diamonds also is almost like a sextile energy too, right? You can either take a sextile or a trine. So you got Venus has a trine with Mars, and you have Venus have a sextile with Pluto, and Mars has a trine with Neptune. So when we're talking about some of these diamond shape, we might want to consider some days if we feel shifty or we feel off. Let's look and see what trine is going on. Let's see what sextile is going on. Those might be two important aspects during out the day that might already relate to you and help you. So that's what that Fool card is, taking further steps to the Frutona could give that energy, and being that Pluto is already dominating. If it's meant for you to do it, it's a specific reason you need to go up in there. It might feel extra intense to go and look, but be more specific. Look for the sextile, look for the trine. It's something there to tell you something. Maybe you did some research ahead of time, maybe you didn't. Or maybe somebody might bring you a message that's connected with those planetary positions or those zodiac those zodiac constellations that those planets reside in. That person might be a messenger. So you got to kind of consider that the Plutona in Sagittarius in our house energy is also a messenger. So pay attention to situations being a messenger and stuff when it comes to it in Nine of Cups. Make sure you always balance out your business. Your 8th house is also, make sure you don't fall for trickery or haters to come your way when it comes with this 9 of Cups and 8 of Pentacles that's going to try to take your life. But don't be fearful in it. Use the Sagittarius energy that's given to you on your spiritual side and just stand your ground. And just do what you got to do for yourself. Have faith, like it was with this 8 of Swords. Don't forget to also have faith and continue your walk, your path. Alright? And the shadow card here. Oh, there you go. Prince of Swords, the hacker. See what I'm talking about? Those people that just might come around and just try to get into your stuff. Be smart about it. Just know how to manipulate it, and if you utilize this energy the right way, you can be able to do it. Now, like I said, probably when our season starts, the Plutona might not be there, but it won't hurt to say on your birthday, find out where the Plutona at. Now, that zodiac constellation that it might be in might be beneficial because maybe it's in your Venus. And we already been going through Venus. So maybe you already pre-plotted and all you got to do is harness out the energy you already prepared for the situation for. So just pay attention to all the different signs and clues that possibly could be here. So the shadow card here, we have the Oracle. I waited for the end and I did a good job being an Oracle here. Alright. The shadow card here. Oh, look at that. I was talking about tenacity. We have Trina, and I was talking about tenacity when I was talking about the mood, when somebody come with a tenacity to you. See, I was already talking about that. This is so great. I appreciate anybody and everybody that come and view, and I hope y'all enjoy this, and I hope that it give you a little bit of inspiration to support my website. All right? Thank you. Peaches is out.